Hey guys, T-Boy. Today I gotta look at the Smith for you, the Tier 2 American Premium Destroyer. It's on the map Ring, Capture the Base mode game. Now the Smith it was available right when the game released as part of, there was some multi-stage mission that took, I don't know, it took about 2 weeks if I remember to get all the way through, but about the halfway point you got the Smith, and then when you finished up you got the Ubari. And I want to say the Smith has been in the shop at least once since then. Maybe not. But the Ubari currently is back as another mission reward. Wouldn't surprise me at all if you see the Smith at some point. And my goal, of course, is to have videos of all the ships available so that if it is available in the future, you can check it out, see if it's worth spending your money on. Or if you're not inclined to buy it, you can check it out and see what you might be up against. But for me, this is actually the only the Tier 2 ship that I currently own. I've sold all the other ones just because the menu system is a little bit wonky, and I don't really play Tier 2 much at all. Just, someone that's played as much as I have, I don't think you should really spend a lot of time in Tier 2, personally. And especially if you're there to, pad your stats or whatever, that's fairly unethical in my opinion. But the Smith is kind of fun, and if you're having a bad string of games or whatever, you want to take some of your frustrations from life and take them out on some seals and low tiers, well, this is the way to do it. Now, what's going on with the Smith? First we'll take a look at the torps. You got 3 launchers, single torp launcher, 457mm torps compared to most of the other ones at the tier are 553. So, and the Germans are a little bit smaller, but they're bigger than these Smith ones. So, very small caliber torps. Range is 6. Detectability on my build's 5.5. So, you got just a little bit more range than your detectability. I'm assuming that's due to I think, unless you have a build similar to mine, I think the ship's default is actually the range is slightly less than the detectability. I might be wrong. I don't know. But, like the low tier American destroyers, your torpedo range is going to be roughly your detectability. So it's not a stealth torp boat by any means. And if you're launching torps, that means you're generally going to be in range of people. So keep that in mind. If you're looking for a premium that's like a really nice stealth torp boat, this isn't it. And then the guns, similar situation. There's 76mm guns. You have 5 turrets, single guns per turret. And all the other guns, you have 102mm, 105, another 102. The Wickas is the American Tier 2, and then the walkie-talkie is actually 120mm. The Japanese Tier 2 destroyer. So again, small caliber like the torps, very quick output, 3.4. I think did I mention the torps reload every 12 seconds? I don't think I did, but that's kind of the theme of this ship. Low damage output, extremely fast. 12-second reload on torps, you get 2 per side. You launch them, and by the time you've launched them, you're almost ready to launch more. So again, they're not the highest damage torps, but basically what you want to do is just pump out the torps. I actually kind of forget to use them as much as you potentially could. Again, I wouldn't recommend using the ship enough to get really familiar with it unless you're still kind of learning the game. But if you got thousands of games under your belt and you're mastering the Smith, maybe you should reevaluate your priorities. Maybe not. It's up to you how you want to play the game. It's none of my business. But yeah, when I'm playing it, if I look at the icon, it always says they're loaded, so then I'll fire them off and then I'll start shooting the guns. And maybe remember the torps a little bit later on. But it can create a lot of these really fun close quarter engagements where torp, shoot some guns, again, 3.5-second reload on my build, and fire off a couple rounds of those, then the torp's ready to go again, just keep trading them off, and you get a lot of damage dealing potential released into the atmosphere. So yeah, it is fun. The guns on these, they're similar to other low tier American destroyer guns. You got really light shells, so long range shots, it's like your guy shooting straight up into the air basically. But the closer you get, the more serviceable the arcs. So if you're trying to play this ship at long range and use your guns there, unless you're really good at aiming, you're going to have some difficulty hitting people. But if you get close range, with the high out, that's basically Fletcher-esque reload or Benson Kid, those really high tier American destroyers. That's how fast these guns shoot. Now they don't do quite the damage. AP damage on my build, 1177 compared to up to 2300 on the V25, it looks like. But to compare it to the Wickes, the other American tier 2, you got 1730. So again, low damage and HE, you got about 2/3 of the damage output of the Wickes. You got 1155 in my build, 1500 on the Wickes. And that's probably altered. I don't own these tier 2 ships again, so those aren't being accounted for. They're not taking my commander into the stats like the Smith is. The Smith is taking account my commander skill, so I don't know if I have Halsey or Burke on it, but both of those are high rank commanders, so that's not a direct comparison between the Smith and these other ships, just because none of those have commanders in them because I don't actually own the ships. So all those stats are probably better than what I'm comparing them to. Keep that in mind. But yeah, it's the close quarters brawler. I mean, if you've been paying attention to the game, they're just getting pretty close. I don't play tier 2 too seriously, just when I do take the ship out, just get in there close, duke it out with these guys, kind of show them how an aggressive destroyer player will appear to them, and then either win the game or get sunk really quick and then move on with my day. But here in the Phoenix, and you can see I'm mostly firing HE. I don't know if I've experimented with the AP rounds on these a lot, how the penetration is. They're probably, with the broadside cruiser like this, I should probably be shooting AP rounds, but again, I'm not trying to play textbook when I'm playing tier 2 games. So, and you can see obviously the torps are loaded. Like if I was really thinking about it, we could definitely be saturating the water, hit this guy with torps. If you want to go for like a high damage game in the Smith, you're going to have to do a lot of damage with the torps because of the shells. You can see when these HE rounds do penetrate, you're getting 200, 250, something like that damage. So guns, while you're pumping out the rounds, it's not a damage dealing monster. If you're trying to get 150k damage in this thing, I don't think it's even possible due to the opponents having, the opponents only have so much health. But that would be kind of funny. I don't think that would even count for the mission because I think they're all like tier 3 or 4 plus, but I don't know. If you want to join my Discord and show me some high damage Smith games, part of me would enjoy that and part of me would say stop doing that. But here we got a Kohlberg. I think that's the tier 2 German cruiser, I believe. Consumables wise, really nice American smoke. Long duration in terms of the cloud itself. Long deployment time, which how many puffs. When the icon is green, that's when the smoke is actively deploying. So the longer that is, the more little puffs the smoke charge gives off. So if you're sitting still, then your smoke charge will only be so big. But if you continue to move when the smoke is actively creating smoke, that'll create those bigger clouds. So American smoke charges create very large clouds and very long-lasting clouds. And here, just taking a look at these guns in this shot here, you can see, this is a long-range shot, and they can be fairly tricky to hit at this range. Now, a lot of tier 2 players aren't going to be that focused on evading shots, but even any shot at this range can be difficult just because all they have to do is minutely turn it, and you can see we're going to miss the shots, and I doubt the guns are that accurate to begin with anyways. Now these particular shots, the guy's just out of my range, so I'm just trying to clip him on the back end there and hopefully cause a fire is my intention, but we actually do finish him off there. So, but yeah, I mean those were max distance shots, so you can see how floaty and ponderous they are at that range. And you do have an engine boost consumable, getting back to consumables too. So it's a fairly standard USN Destroyer loadout. And I mean, it is a very fun ship. It's just, for me personally, I just don't feel that great about playing a lot of Tier 2. But at this point, the game actually gets fairly interesting. I think we got 3 ships left. They have 4. And they're actually up quite a bit on points at this point. So for Capture the Base mode, you have 2 ways to generate points. You can kill enemy ships, which add to your score and actually detract from the enemy's score. And you can see how much that is exactly. If you pull up the team roster screen with the map on it, it'll have plus, minus on the bottom there. So it varies for destroyer, cruiser, and battleship. But you can also score points by getting on the enemy cap and sitting on there. So I don't think that option for scoring a lot of... not as many players realize that as they do just kills giving you points. But when you're down like this, we do have to start getting some kills here. So luckily someone on my team's able to finish that cruiser off. That brings us a lot closer. They're still up, considerable amount on us, but the game's manageable at this point. Now here I have 2 options. I have this other cruiser that's unsighted around the island. He's presumably going around the long way to cap. Now I could have cut in front of it and tried to intercept him, but it's tough to gauge what low tier players are going to be doing. But you can see I do have that little rainbow indicator, so this must be a Halsey that I have on the Smith. Halsey has the option, one of the skills for this on the PC, I think they call it radio frequency location or something like that. I don't remember what it's called on ours, but it's the perk that says like show the location of the nearest enemy ship. That's what that little white indicator is on the top of the screen. That's kind of rainbow shaped. So I was using that to kind of get a read on where he was. I wanted to eliminate him quickly. Now you can see that it actually did put us up on points, but very precarious. I'm assuming everyone alive in the game has pretty low health at this point, so my intention there was to take him out as quickly as possible and then get on their cap and then start to generate some points, because you can see the times getting low. If they catch either me or someone else on our team and sink us, they can win on points like right at the end. Now here they do have a Valkyrie. I think that's the UK Tier 2 destroyer. So luckily, because he was there, he was going back to defend his cap. And if we can kill him before he kills us, that should seal the game up. Now you can see these, I mean, shooting Tier 2, even some Tier 3 destroyers is actually fairly tough to do, just because the ship is so tiny, especially the back half, so I doubt these guns are that accurate to begin with. But my commander build is decent. If this is Halsey, I got him, and then I do have Burke as the inspiration on that commander setup, so I mean, about as accurate of guns as you're going to have on the ship, but you can see there, even fairly close range, it was still semi-difficult to hit him. And then the smart play here would just be to go undetected, which I am, and then remain that way and just sit on the cap, get a couple extra points, and just ride out the clock. But you can see I do have 4 kills left, and I think I was thinking, well, I'm pretty sure I don't have a Kraken in the Smith, and I'm not going to play a lot of Smith games in the future, so this might be my one chance. So I was going to push into him, but again, that's pretty bad strategy, because if he does kill me, you never know exactly what you're going to get for point deduction in addition, and he's shooting someone else if he kills him, which he did there. Now we're actually tied now, so now sitting on the cap, you can see it because I'm a crew, and those points for being on the cap. We actually won that game. I forgot how close this was. I played this game a few weeks ago. But yeah, I mean, I should stop shooting at the guy. There's no way I can kill him anyways. But I guess I was going for the world record damage on this. But yeah, again, if you want to get a high damage game on this, you have to get the torps involved in a game with a lot of battleships on the enemy side. I don't know what an average game in the Smith looks like damage-wise, but I'm assuming it's fairly low. But anyway, you know, I don't recommend a lot of people that have played the game a lot play a lot of tier 2 games, but if you are looking for a premium, I did want to make this so you can take a look at it whenever it's available and see if the ship interests you or not. So if you did enjoy the video, I hope you hit the thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, you should consider subscribing. I got a lot of World of Warships coming all the time. Questions for me, comments, leave them below. I'd love to hear from you guys. And we'll see y'all later. Alright, peace.